You're listening to Inside Lebo, a podcast giving you an inside look at Mount Lebanon, Pennsylvania, produced by Mount Lebanon's Public Information Office.
Every summer, Mount Lebanon's interns get a behind-the-scenes look at local government while helping serve the community. Welcome to Inside Lebo, the official podcast of the municipality of Mount Lebanon. I'm your host, Rachel Windsor, Mount Lebanon's Assistant Public Information Officer and the Senior Editor of Mount Lebanon Magazine.
And I'm Ian McMeans, Assistant Municipal Manager and Municipal Planner. In today's episode, sponsored by Trouvers Jewelry, we'll hear from Nick Tessier, Police Department Intern, Madeline Woods, Social Services Intern, Jamela Jones, Treasury Office Intern, Bryn Morosky, Public Information Office Intern, and Katie Campbell, Planning Office Intern. Thank you all for being here.
So Nick, thanks for joining us. We're going to start with you. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and what led you to study criminal justice at Indiana University of Pennsylvania?
First of all, I just want to say thank you guys for having me today. And I am a senior studying criminal justice at IUP, Indiana University of Pennsylvania. And I've always wanted a career where I could serve my community, and IUP is obviously the program that has given me a strong foundation for law enforcement.
So what specifically interested you in interning with the Mount Lebanon Police Department?
Mount Lebanon has a great reputation overall, community policing and just the professionalism that they carry. Everybody I've been a part with during my time here has been great and very helpful. And I've honestly, like the real life scenario I've been put in with this career, I've learned 10 times more than I thought compared to what I learned in the classroom so far.
It's fantastic. And then as you're preparing to attend the police academy after graduation, how would you say this internship has sort of influenced your career goals?
It's definitely put me in the right direction, and everything that I've been learning is kind of what I expected it, and it's taken me 10 miles past of where I thought I would be with this. And I'm just excited to get out of the classroom and out of the academy. And just being here has really prepared me to be an officer and have my, right step forward going in my career path.
Nice. So what's your favorite thing you got to do this summer?
Favorite thing? Obviously, every unit I've been with, I feel like I've been able to pick a piece of what I've liked. So I'd say the detective unit, doing like little interviews here and there, just hearing how they speak and learning how the way they approach questions and everything, and that was really interesting to me. With patrol, I learned a lot about certain things, what they do with like the systems in the car, how they approach people, you're a police officer, but you got to be a coach, you got to be a friend, you got to be helpful to other people because it's your community. Community outreach was pretty cool, I'd say, with Ty and Ryan. Like being with the younger guys was pretty cool because it's like at the police academy, so they got to do the self-defense, the fingerprint analyst. What else did we do? Bomb squad came, so that was pretty cool. I've never seen stuff like that. Seeing like their suit, like it's 120 pounds of gear that you're throwing on yourself, and you're trying to do little things of taking a bomb and defusing it. It's insane. That's
awesome. Sounds like you got a really well-rounded experience this summer.
So definitely everything I've been a part with, I've enjoyed, and I just really appreciate the time I've had here.
Great. So as many of our listeners know, our police department also has a social services coordinator that helps connect residents with resources and support beyond traditional public safety. So moving over to Madeline, you're interning with that department. So why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and your connection with Mount Lebanon?
Well, I myself am a Mount Lebanon resident. I graduated from the high school in 2023, so it's been wonderful to get to intern with the department that has served me for 21 years of my life. So it's great to give back to my community.
Cool. And, social services in police departments is a little bit of a newer phenomenon. So what interested you in pursuing this type of internship with this unique role in social services?
Well, for my college, I was given a grant to pursue an internship to help my professional development. And I know that I want to pursue graduate school in clinical realm. And it's rare as an undergrad to get to see clinical intervention without being a licensed professional. I also have a research background in forensic psychology, so getting to combine the two is a rare and emerging field, and it's been great to work with my supervisor, Jackie, and get to see the amazing work she does.
Great.
And how would you say that this internship has helped shape your future career plans?
I think if anything, it's solidified that I'm interested in clinical forensic work. It's difficult and it's kind of a niche field to go into, but knowing that this is the direction I want to take a doctoral degree in is really helpful as I'm applying to grad school. It's also been great to just kind of see how I myself respond to this kind of work, because it is unique as a provider to be interacting with these populations, but I've loved the work we've been able to do this summer.
Fantastic.
So I'll put you on the spot too, like I did with Nick. Without getting into too much detail, obviously, because as a social service coordinator, you probably handle some very personal situations you can't talk in detail about, but what was your favorite thing you got to experience this summer?
I've enjoyed my time I've spent with my supervisor. We've been doing policy work for the white pages that kind of guide police daily operations. It's interesting to see that side of it, because I think people don't really consider that there are these operation procedures that they have to closely adhere to. So being able to kind of give back to the community by increasing the crisis intervention services that our police department offers, that's been a really unique perspective I've enjoyed.
Cool. So moving into my territory now, the planning office helps to shape what the community will look like for years into the future. From developing long-range initiatives like our comprehensive plan and active transportation plan, Katie Campbell is our summer intern this year in the planning office. So Katie, why don't you tell us about your path to coming here with your teaching history and now being in grad school at the University of Pittsburgh?
Yeah, thank you for having me. So I have a little bit different of a path to this internship, in that this is really a second career for me. And what interested me in not only going to University of Pittsburgh, but also working with Mount Lebanon, is thinking about how local government really impacts people's lives. And I think that's what's been really interesting about working with the planning office, is that there's a lot that local government does that we don't necessarily think about, or we perhaps take it for granted, and it's really involved in every aspect of your life. And so I really wanted to be a part of those kinds of impactful changes that are meaningful for communities. And that's what brought me here.
So can you tell us about some of the projects you worked on this summer?
Yeah, so I started out looking at the active transportation plan and reviewing that with Ian, and then we've also looked at the capital improvement plan, and a little bit of what we're working on is there's actually a lot that the planning office is doing right now. So there's a lot of projects that I've been able to have experience with, including the zoning and saldo update, and then also thinking about AI policies and doing some data analysis with the different departments in the municipality. So I've really been able to do quite a bit. It's been a lot of fun.
Great. So without putting you on the spot too much, since you're working for me, what's been your favorite thing you've gotten to do this summer?
Ooh, I actually really enjoyed thinking about the AI policy and doing a lot of research about what other governments are doing, what other particularly local governments, and seeing what is that going to look like for people, because I think it's definitely a pioneer field in the sense that it's rapidly changing, and so government needs to be able to be flexible and stay ahead of the challenges that are going to arise with it. So that's been really exciting to be a part of.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, even with the PIO, we're constantly getting messaging about how government communicators are using AI,
Right.
and being able to have a municipal policy in place, and I'm sure researching it was super interesting because, like you said, it's constantly evolving.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think even at the University of Pittsburgh, there's a lot that they're doing kind of researching about AI, and we were able to connect with Pitt Cyber, which is out of the university, and even just seeing from January to now how certain generative AI models are so much more advanced. The rapidity of advancement is pretty astounding. So,
Yeah. Awesome. Well, thank you to our first 3 interns. We're going to take a quick break, and with a word from our sponsor, Trouvers Jewelry. When we come back, we'll meet 2 more interns working in the Treasury office and the Public Information office.
Looking for that perfect piece of jewelry? At Trouvers Jewelry, you're not just a customer, you're part of the family. Locally owned by Mount Lebanon residents Rob and Kay Trouver, Trouvers has specialized in exquisite craftsmanship and custom jewelry design for over 30 years. Rob is an expert goldsmith, ensuring your jewelry is created with the utmost skill and care. Whether you're looking for something timeless or one of a kind, Trouvers delivers it all. Visit us at the corner of West Liberty and Piermont Avenue or check us out online at trouvers.com. At Trouvers, it's personal.
Welcome back. In the first half, we introduced 3 interns serving residents through public safety, social services, and planning. And now we're going to meet 2 interns whose work supports the municipality behind the scenes through finance and communications. So first, Jamila, welcome to the podcast. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself and what you're studying at Howard University?
Thank you guys so much for having me. I am a rising senior accounting major at Howard University, which is located in Washington, D.C., and I am actually from Monessen, Pennsylvania. What drew me to accounting was my coursework. I entered Howard University and learned that accounting is the language of a business, so that stuck out to me.
Cool. So what interested you in interning with Mount Lebanon's Treasury office?
I thought that the Mount Lebanon Treasury office would be a great opportunity to expose me to the government side of accounting. I have not had a chance to experience that at Howard yet, and being at the Mount Lebanon Treasury office, I work with a great team of ladies, and I get to learn so much from them.
Yeah, so how would you say this experience prepared you for your future career in accounting?
When I finish at Howard University and I graduate, I hope to become an auditor or an analyst with my accounting degree. And working in the Treasury office every day has shown me how to strengthen my skills with attention to detail and problem solving. Some of the projects that I work on include auditing checks and even using Excel to do some analysis through real estate transfers that we receive. And it's a really great experience for me just to get exposed to professionalism and see which paths I would like to take upon graduation.
That's great. And like you mentioned, government accounting is very different than accounting in other areas. And if you get into auditing, there's a lot of different options too. So having a well-rounded skill set will be great for you. So I'm glad you've had a good experience. What's your favorite thing you've got to do this summer?
My favorite thing I've gotten to do this summer was, well, there's a couple of things I like to do, but I really enjoy learning the systems that we use in the Treasury office. A lot of them, including the installments that we process, includes automation processes. So it's really nice to see how you can take a really timely task and you can make it more manageable and make it more manageable.
Great. And last but not least, we have with us the Public Information Office intern, Bryn. So can you tell listeners a little bit about yourself and your connection to Mount Lebanon?
Yeah, thank you for having me today. So I'm a rising senior at the University of Pittsburgh. I'm majoring in film production and nonfiction writing, and I also graduated from Mount Lebanon High School in 2023. My parents still live here, so I'm pretty connected to the community.
So with your background in college courses in film production and nonfiction writing, storytelling is a very common thread through those courses of study. So what drew you into writing and filmmaking?
Yeah, so I was writing even as like a little kid. My sister's also super into writing. We just always loved telling stories. I loved reading, so it kind of made sense that I would also want to write. And then kind of a similar thing happened with film where I loved watching TV. I loved hearing those kinds of stories. And that made me want to make them, or because I cared so much about the TV shows I was watching or the films I was watching, it made me think like, how can I make this? How can I participate in this? And then in high school, I was part of the Devil's Advocate, which is the Mount Lebanon High School's newspaper. I was the editor-in-chief. I was also an editor for the Lit Mag in high school. And those experiences showed me the kind of variety that writing can be. It can be poetry, it can be journalism. But when I went to college, I was mostly just thinking I'd be doing film, because that was what I had gotten more and more interested in throughout high school. And when I went to Pitt, part of what brought me to Pitt was that they had a film program, but you could also technically pick up writing later if you wanted to. A lot of schools, their film programs only allow for them to be a film major. It's in the arts conservatory. But at Pitt, they're all under the Dietrich School. So if I wanted, I could still add on another major, whether that was writing or something else I was interested in. I didn't want to just only be able to do film in case anything changed. And being at Pitt, not writing in my freshman year as much because I was just doing film, I found I kind of missed it too. So my sophomore year at Pitt, I joined the Pitt News, and I'm also part of a couple film organizations. And what I really found was enjoyment in doing both of those things. And I'm the head editor of the opinions desk at the Pitt News, which is, it's a little bit like non-traditional nonfiction, especially when it comes to newspapers, because it's almost more essay and personal. And that's why I decided that I wanted to major in nonfiction writing as opposed to fiction or poetry. I took intro classes in all three, but I just thought that nonfiction had like the widest variety, because you could do journalism, you could do reporting, you could do essay and memoir, and you can do like long form reporting and investigative stuff. And that was what was interesting to me, because I could always stick to shorter form things or like a variety of things rather than sit down and write an entire fiction novel. And so that's how it came to film and writing, and that's a long-winded answer.
No, that's great. It's super interesting. And actually, this summer you're also producing a documentary with the University of Pittsburgh. So can you tell us a little bit about that project?
Yeah, so I received a summer undergraduate research award for a documentary about a proposed AI data center in Springdale, which is kind of out by Penn Hills. And that whole process was super interesting, because I didn't even know if I would get the research award, because a lot of what they get, and a lot of the people that are in my cohort, they're doing stuff like biology and Alzheimer's research, and they're in labs, and they're doing that kind of thing. And so I didn't even know if a documentary would be the sort of research that would count under that umbrella, but I was super excited that they were interested in it. And so I got some funding through that, and then I've been working on it this summer. And it's just been really cool to be going out to this place that I've never been. I never was at Springdale before. I don't have any connections there. I just knew it was in the Pittsburgh area, and I knew this was an issue happening there that I was interested in. And so kind of introducing myself to people, putting myself out there, going to meetings, showing up at protests, things like that has been a really interesting experience to push me out of my comfort zone, and also just show me how much everyone wants to be heard, because people were so grateful that I was there, even though I'm just like, oh yeah, I'm just kind of doing my own thing and I have my camera here. People were excited that anyone wanted to hear from them. And that's, I think, something that I've also learned a lot here at Mount Lebanon. The communities, wherever you are, they want to be heard. People want to talk about the things they care about. They want to connect with others who care about the same things or feel strongly about the same things. So that's just been super eye-opening this summer.
Okay. Great. So I'll change up my last question for you a little bit. Since you're very involved with storytelling, what's one story about Mount Lebanon that stood out to you this summer?
Yeah, so that's kind of hard, because I was thinking about this, and I've written some pieces that I was excited about. I talked to a Lebo student who's really into like birding, and so he takes like really impressive photos, and he can also draw really well, and that was super cool. But another project I've been working on recently, which is kind of silly and came about kind of in a funny way, is the virtual cat show. Which came about in a very silly way and just kind of sort of from a typo, but in the past couple days, I've been to so many people's houses to meet their cats, and that's definitely not at all what I would have expected I'd be experiencing this summer. But now I have tons of cat videos on my phone, and I'm gonna edit them all together, and it's been really cool to see how much people were excited about that. I honestly was not expecting the community response that we got, because I thought people would maybe want to send a picture, but I didn't think people would want me in their home. I didn't think people would be so willing to schedule time out of their day for a stranger to come into their house and look at their cat, but people wanted that, and people were excited. And I've had so many people tell me that when they saw the post about it, they were like, oh my God, I'm so glad they're doing something like this, or making kind of lemonade out of lemons or whatever. Mm-hmm. And it's just been super fun because it's been so unexpected, and it's really also pushed me out of my comfort zone to go to like 6 strangers' houses in a row and just have to be like, I'm here now, here's what I'm doing, hello. It's definitely been a unexpected but fun part of this.
Yeah. And I also, just for anyone that's listening that might not know the full backstory, we have a classic car show through our police department every summer, usually near the 4th of July holiday. And this year it had to be rescheduled due to weather. A Lebo alert was sent out that accidentally said that the cat show was going to be rescheduled rather than the car show. And Bryn is the one that came up with the idea to actually, maybe we could do some sort of actual cat show. And it's just really cool to see like the community response on social media and how into it people get, and like you said, sort of just like making something fun and community building out of just like a, you know, simple little typo. So that was awesome that you were able to, you know, facilitate that, and people really like it. Cool. Well, thank you for all of our interns for joining us on the podcast and for spending part of your summer serving the Mount Lebanon community. If you or someone you know is interested in future internship opportunities with the municipality of Mount Lebanon, keep an eye on our employment page at mountlebanon.org/employment, where summer internships for college students are posted typically in the late winter.
So that's all for this edition of Inside Lebo. I will echo Rachel's appreciation for all of our summer interns this year. They've all done great work for us, and we are a better community for having had them with us for this short amount of time, and hopefully they all go on to great things in their careers. So thanks again to our sponsors, Trouvers Jewelry, and this episode was produced by Marsha Morgenstern with music by Drew Monyo and graphics by Amy Robinson. Be sure to subscribe for future episodes, and we'll see you next time with more from Mount Lebanon.
Thanks for listening to Inside Lebo, produced by Mount Lebanon's Public Information Office. Learn more about all things Lebo at mountlebanon.org or by following our Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram pages.